It seems everything is proceeding exactly as planned, Major.
All the variables are falling dutifully into place, Doctor. He is rebuilding his castle, brick by bloody brick. Sie gehört es mir. He wears the guise of a man, but I never thought of him as one, or even as a vampire, for that matter. He is king and castle both. His dominion, the river Styx, the untold dead he's drowned in it, his subjects. What cost victory? What ploy will leave him in the dust? These questions run through my mind every waking moment. Thoughts of him even invade my dreams, leaving me crying out for bloodshed. And now, at long last, our war has dawned. I bring all that I am to this fight, body and soul. But is it enough? How can our arsenals compare? He can change form, summon familiars, bend men to his will, and the taste of human blood brings him life anew. And these powers he can call upon as quickly as a man might blink. But I take the stage with nothing. Why, do you ask? Because I am a human being. To be a vampire, to taste life eternal, and wage war throughout the centuries. What a perfect existence! But that is a bridge too far. I cannot embrace on death. Vampirism is brilliant. One can quaff another soul like a vintage ice wine and steal everything that defines him. Mein Herz, mein Seele, mein Leben. They belong to me. Sharing one's life with another, and they with you. Losing the borders of oneself in the great sanguine sea. To gain by losing. What a delicious irony! It is the bliss of Aqueous. It is the bliss of surrender. And so I say, to hell with you! What's mine is mine alone! Every hair, every drop of blood! I am me! I am me! I am me! You are ruin, made flesh, made beautiful. You are loved, and so I despise you. That is why you are my foe, my dazzling count. You are the most precious thing, a worthy opponent, an arch-enemy, a king upon which to wage war. What you call victories are nothing more than the opening salvos of a battle 50 years in the making. Our decades of preparation, they were all for this moment. The last battalion, the 9th Crusade, Father Anderson, the faithful captain, and duplicitous Walter, all of them were steps leading to the pyre on which Alucard will burn. He has no choice but to release his final restriction and set loose his true form. At last he will stand alone atop the battlements. Would it be Anderson who dispatches him, or Walter who carries the day? I think he'll destroy them both. He is less than a man, but also much more. A century ago, his reign of terror paralyzed London. 500 years ago, he held back the Ottoman Empire. If that great river of blood meets his lips, the game is lost. He'll knock aside the chessboard like a petulant child. Life and death. He's cheated them both for centuries. How does one go about slaying such a force of nature? Do you cut through wave after wave of thralls on the battlefield and take his head like one of the Teutonic knights of old?
9. He'll simply summon more of his stolen blood.
But that could work in my favor, because my enemy's greatest strength is also his Achilles' heel. Tyrants have always been especially susceptible to poison.
Burn in hell, you swine.
I will. But not just yet. Sorry to disappoint you, Hellsing.
Impossible. I saw the shell hit you. You're dead.
That's where you're wrong. I have never been more alive. He's a machine. Good gracious. Didn't your mother ever teach you that it's rude to stare? Machinery aside, I am just as human now as I ever was, Fraulein.
Look at you, Major. A clockwork monstrosity.
Deny it all you want. My humanity is not in question. I still have that one trait that puts us in ascendance even above the angels. It is my will that drives me. The vampires that you were so happy to keep in your employ, without the lifeblood of others to keep them going, they would shamble to a halt. If it's a monster you want, look no further than Alucard and this little one, playing at immortality. Don't mention me in the same breath as that fraud. The moment I am propelled by my own unadulterated will, I become heir to something Alucard can only steal. Even if I were reduced to nothing more than a brain in a jar, synapses firing in a sea of pure thought, I am human, just like you are. Within me rests a human soul, and a human's will, precious beyond all worth. He smiles at you in the form of a young girl, or pulls at your heartstrings in the form of a weary veteran. So many faces a monster has, and all of them stolen, all of them lies. I despise him. Every cell in my body called for his annihilation. So I destroyed his kingdom and cast him down into the dust. Fitting that it took a man with the trappings of a monster to slay a monster with the trappings of a man. He was a casualty to my will. My enemy is not human. My enemy is less than human. Since the earliest dawning of mankind, this is the battle cry. It just happened to be more literal in my case. That battle cry. Those thoughts are running through your mind right now, aren't they? I planted the seeds of this war half a century ago. Now, show me what has blossomed. I finally hit something.